I'm trying to figure out how to tweet out a link again, right? I promise you, I will not get better at that, and it will get even more excruciating. No, we'll figure it out. You know, this is now a product. No, it is. It's a product of me deciding now to go back to using StreamYard to try and simultaneously go to two places at once, despite the fact that I have barely enough subscribers and viewers to support me on one platform. Okay, folks, I do not have a lot of time. Technically, I got to be out of here in 15 minutes, but I have a shot at making it happen because I'm going to be analyzing a video that is only 9 minutes long. So if I don't overly analyze, I should never make it. So look, I got to keep it real tight. Let me just cue up what I'm going to try and do. Basically, the title of this video says it all. Dear professional D&D haters, what's your end game? Vol.1 rules lawyer. There's a particular video by a particular professional TTRPG YouTube guy, the rules lawyer, who I have great umbrage with. I've talked about him before, and my problems with him are numerous. But basically, he had a 5 hour live stream where he basically look he's a Pathfinder two he's a Pathfinder second edition fan aficionado par excellence. But folks, when you're 12 years old and it's not enough that you have a favorite video game system, it's got to be that the other guy's video game system sucks. Do you know what I mean? But we're no longer children. You know, what's your agenda? He made a video that is only like the question is rules lawyer. Everybody here knows that you're partisan. No one thinks that when you do a cross analysis between 5e and Pathfinder 2e, no one thinks that, you're giving 5e a fair shot, or you're just being like, hey, folks, look, here it is. The proof is in the pudding. A fair and even scientific analysis shows Pathfinder 2e is like Newtonian physics. It holds together like the pure brilliance. It's like Monty Cook traveled forward in time, grabbed a bit of cosmic gnosis, not enough to spoil the future for us, but just enough insight to let us know the aha of the aha. It just is, and while 5e is just screams, I'm broken. I'm a corporate shill game designed to trick kids into wasting their time and studying Common Core math so that Republicans can be elected and hurt little innocent trans babies. I mean, why would you want to play 5e? But if you want to play 5e instead of the scientifically optimal preferred one, then you're going to do what you're going to do, says the rules lawyer. And I'm here to say, stop being ridiculous. And what's your end game? Is your end game of life going to be simply waiting around till any item of news happens regarding Wizards of the Coast and then pouncing on it to find some negative way to spin it? The news regarding Wizards of the Coast was noteworthy and moved mountains within the TTRPG community because essentially D&D is the TTRPG community. especially as it exists, as we understand it, as we feel it, and as it's palpable in the mainstream space on YouTube, on Reddit, on forums, on subforums, on the pocket dimensions where us nerds get up to us nerd sub-dimensional planescapes. Yeah, the sky's the limit and there's infinite worlds of infinite frontiers and everybody's playing everything. But in the real world, there's Disney World, and then there's the fact that who else has a theme park? Have you been to Sesame Place? I mean, it's not like getting beat up by guys in the back alley, but it's no Disney World. Hershey Park, technically the chocolate bar's got an amusement park. It's Disney World. They got a world and a land. Meanwhile, D&D is Disney World, Disneyland, and Pazio's got Stugatz. And I've got nothing against Pathfinder. And I've got nothing against people who prefer the combat of Pathfinder 2E to 3.5 Pathfinder to be a 3.5 D&D, which is Pathfinder First Edition, right? I got no problem with people who calculate their modifiers to the D20 slightly different than I. Or demarcate their fantastic imaginary actions under some alternative hypothetical clock. Because I'm not 3, I don't need to. It's enough for me to like Nintendo. I don't have to show up at the schoolyard and talk about how Sega sucks. Because I don't know, I guess I've processed, a bunch of, the need for, territorial, space in the schoolyard, and the need for, to verify, with, community that, my financial, investiture in Nintendo was the correct one, and to, lobby, that to make sure that other people, Nintendo needs support, and those, we don't want to end up like this poor TurboGrafx-16 kid. Timmy, just don't look at him. He's only got 2 games, man. They were good games too. I had a dream about a guy in the future who told me one day things will turn around for that guy. He'll be in college. He'll tell us all, yeah, man, I had TurboGrafx-16. No one wanted to talk to me, but I had 2 games. And he'll whip him out, and he'll be the hit of. He'll be freshman year. He's gonna kick ass. It'll be his time to shine. True story. It wasn't me. I didn't intend it. But so rules lawyers, I guess, and it's also the fact of the matter is, like, bros, nothing happens over. Like, you've got these guys that are trying to make hay over the fact that D&D, Wizards of the Coast, when you buy shit from them online, when you buy the books from them online, they're now saying there's no. Basically, all that happened was, like everyone under the sun, if you go to Drive-Thru-RPG, FYI, in case you're curious, the default option when you buy a softcover or hardcover book is to get the PDF included. They do still have the option to get gypped by, sure, don't send me the PDF. But for the most part, the PDF is just an add-in. So these people acting like you can only get the book with the PDF as some sort of like nefarious sign that Wizards of the Coast are trying to funnel everybody online. They're trying to funnel all the Dungeons and Dragons players online. Where are you watching this? On YouTube. Where are you watching these people that are screaming and complaining about these people? You're watching them on YouTube. What did Pazio do right after all this OGL kerfuffle? They announced their plans to do a virtual tabletop. OSC, their big thing on Drive Through RPG, look what they're doing. They're pushing all their stuff on Foundry VTT. Everyone's on virtual tabletops. You're on virtual tabletops. FYI, and in case you're curious, it's kind of an online world. God damn it. But these people are going to come out here and act like it's newsworthy that Wizards of the Coast are like, oh man, it kind of doesn't make any sense anymore to sell books on our online store and not to say, oh, by the way, you bought the book, so here's the PDF. And you have people acting like this is some grand conspiracy. But look, we have a video. I gotta get out of here in 4 minutes, but I gotta speed watch this guy's video. If I'm gonna watch any of it at all. Let me see. Here we go. I'll never make it. I basically got to just turn this into a rant because I'll never make it. I don't have a shot in hell. Hold on. And he, yeah. I'll be biting off more than I can chew. But basically, he makes this with D&D's lack of direction and the truth behind the next edition of D&D. I wanted to play this because it was just so full of freaking lies. Hold on. Oh God. I'm doing it. I'm gonna leave here technically 4.5 minutes late, but it's gonna be speed dial. We're probably not gonna get a tarot card, but yeah. I'll have to play what if I play him? I'll play him. I got playback speed. If I play him at 1.25, I'll play him at 1.5. Okay. And then I'll keep it moving. Okay, so this is his video. This is the rules lawyer doing a video called D&D's lack of direction and the truth behind the next edition of D&D. And this is actually a compilation of him talking about the one D&D new version. Now, bear in mind that he started talking about this before Pathfinder did their 2E remaster project, which basically negates 90% of what he says because everything that he accuses Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro of doing are being done by Pazio. So if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. If it's crapola for WotC to do it, if it's disingenuous for WotC to be saying these things are cross-compatible or whatever, if they're being disingenuous, if they're not doing an active playtest, they're doing more of a playtest than Pazio did for a remaster for any sort of for any sort of playtest for the second edition remaster. The second edition remaster came out of nowhere. For what reason? To do something about the OGL. That didn't need to happen. That was just a purely financial reason. Folks, these companies and these players are making the decisions that they're making for their own financial interest. From the creating new rules to the issuing of new books to the changing of things, none of them are doing it to properly shepherd and maintain the sanctity of the hobby or to take care of the customer and the player, who has always come first, who has always been the backbone of what we've all been about. I was a player before I became the CEO, the corporate head, the head of this department. Then the minute that person gets that stock option, gets that thing, and they're in that thing, they are making decisions and they are part of a larger system. And now that WotC is part of a larger conglomerate and a larger operation, and whether you like it or not, even Pazio as an independent company are still part and parcel of bigger moving pieces. And they're not looking out for you. And it's not unreasonable that they're not looking out for you. They're looking out for, they got to eat, their kids and their family have got to eat. They want to make sure that they got a job to go to tomorrow. And if you think that they're sacrificing any of that to make sure that this stays a pencil and paper game the way that Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson intended it to be, to make sure that this maintains that this is about that it doesn't become about loot box chases for skins or fancy graphics or VTT headlines or player positions on a ranked leaderboard. It doesn't become about booth babes or hotsy totsy or whatever, but it maintains its sanctity of rules as written and DMs as referees or whatever, this, that, and the other thing. You are drinking Kool-Aid. But at least you, if your heart was in the right place, your heart would be in the right place. This guy, where is your heart rules lawyer? Let me present that. I'm already late. Hold on. A couple of things I just want to do. I'm going to speed do it until we get to just the most egregious things that this dude says. Oh, here we go. Because all that really matters is him just saying whack stuff. And the real question is, why? What's your agenda? If you like Pathfinder, play fucking Pathfinder. What are you even talking about D&D for? You don't play D&D 5e. So what the fuck are you talking about D&D 5e for? And what do you give a shit if other people do? I don't talk crap about Pathfinder because I'm talking crap about Pathfinder. I talk crap about people who conduct themselves like this nonsense, who are doing it only to try and get views and who think that they're going to build up some sort of alternative TTRPG community that's going to feed them and their Patreon money and their adventure of the month club and whatever. Y'all going to be homeless. If y'all think everyone, y'all should know. If you think that you are going to be, for the next 10, 15 years, having a nice old, wonderful time in Fantasyland, writing up adventures or drawing maps or shit, I don't know. I think maybe you should think about long-term goals. Like, what are you going to do after YouTube? How long do you think this YouTube shit's going to last? How long do you think TTRPGs are going to last? People are talking about D&D books they rose the price on D&D books. They rose the price on D&D books. How much are the Morkborg's books being sold for on Amazon? All the books are more expensive. Forget about those deals they used to do on all sorts of books. A lot of this stuff's becoming more expensive because the price of printing this stuff is more expensive. Y'all nuts. You're not paying attention because you don't want to pay attention, because to pay attention might be to pay attention to stuff that's scary, like things like inflation and cost of living expenses. And, oh, by the way, your beloved TTRPG hobby, the reason it's going online is because everything's going online. So some of you old people better just recognize.
There is a looming branding disaster on the horizon.
A looming branding disaster? What are they going to do? Oh my God, people won't know what the hell's going on. A looming branding disaster.
Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not a hater of what 1D&D was.
You're not a hater of what 1D&D was? I guess you're a hater of what 1D&D is now. And if you're a hater of what it is now, why? How could you hate on a friggin' game? Why would you hate on a game? Why would you hate on Mark Burles and Jason and Jeremy Crawford? The hell they do to you? Get a life.
I think that it was addressing some really big problems with 5th edition. And
oh, did you? Yeah, that was everyone knows you're a disingenuous blowhard. Everyone knows you just run your mouth for views.
I think the main issue is that there is this desire to hang on to 5e, and it seems to be holding Dungeons and Dragons.
Is it? Is that what you think? It's a desire to hold on to 5e? Oh, okay. Why not? Whatever.
And I think that makes this very big 2024 initiative feel almost directionless and unimportant in a way.
What does that mean? This first clip is from August 18th, 2022. I made it minutes after watching the 1D&D World announcement trailer. So this is, in other words, a hot take. Oh, by the way, less than a year later, Pathfinder Pazio will do the whole remaster project thing, by the way.
I'm Ronald, the rules lawyer, and I want to tell Wizards of the Coast to stop the bullshit. We know you are making a new edition of Dungeons and Dragons. It's going to...
So put that in context, and I apologize for the chipmunkification of whatever's happening here with the voice. I'm playing it fast for a reason. I apologize. I'm not trying to make it funny. Everything that he just said, stop the bullshit, because of all that stuff with the Remaster 2 project, which is basically was just all of that nonsense, all those accusations, everything that he's going to say applies doubly so to the Remaster 2 project that came out of nowhere after everyone had bought out multiple editions of Pathfinder 2. They went through, they reprinted their own book and then said, "Oh, yo, you made it. You bought so many of Pathfinder 2 books. We had to actually reprint them twice or something like that. Thanks, homies. And now that you've bought them and you're done buying them out, obviously, because we don't need to print them again, now's a good time as any to do another cash grab, allegedly. I'm just saying, possibly. And now we're going to do the Pathfinder 2 remaster. I mean, we could have done it before we sold you that new printing of books, but why miss out on that cash, cash, cash? We got to get you away from that OGL immediately. Even though we reprinted those after, 5e was already in the Common Core and no one gave a shit about this because this whole story's already over. Rules Lawyer, Glicker, all y'all haters, DM Lair, all y'all haters. What are you going to do? Hate on WotC forever? Keep on hating on WotC. Keep on hating on WotC. Meanwhile, everyone who just rode positivity, they're still just doing what they're doing. Meanwhile, all y'all are handing in videos that straight up look fucking crazy. You look crazy.
To be presumably superior to and replace the core systems of 5th edition, and the vast majority of your players will want to just buy the new books, and it's going to take some work to incorporate 5th edition options into it. You want to do
whatever, dude.
This for 2 reasons. One, you want to be upfront with your customers.
He's a mind reader. Oh, that's the other thing. But bear in mind, pay attention to the fact I can't deal with the fast setting. I apologize. I'm gonna find where he's gonna talk about what we need.
Player base. I see you avoiding the words "new edition," calling it.
Oh my God, avoiding the words "new edition." Well, let's say talk about Pathfinder 2.
Responding to the question, is there a new edition of D&D in your own FAQ? With it's bigger than that, calling it
everything. Spot on to Pathfinder 2.
A new evolution, using the term 1 D&D as if there's continuity between the previous and the current edition.
Why is that using 1 D&D as if there's continuity? Well, it's a new name, so if there was total continuity, they would just keep calling it D&D. But who cares if there's, you know what I mean?
Saying we're expanding on 5e, using all of these catchphrases to avoid saying new edition.
Want shit to say. You just want to have shit to say that to hopefully so that more people will go to. How many people do you think are going to go to Pathfinder over your actions, Rules Lawyer? How many more people that go to Pathfinder are going to turn into Rules Lawyer subscribers? How many of those people will turn into long-term subscribers and long-term Patreon supporters? How many of those people will turn into long-term Patreon supporters for X number of years? How many X number of years do you have left on planet Earth? That's my question, dude. However amount of time that you're spending on YouTube is time you're not spending just being, hey man, I could be going back to work as a lawyer.
And your players are intelligent and discerning, and you don't want to be looking like you're trying to hoodwink people into buying.
Yeah, like why don't you just be honest and say, why are you covering this shit? Like you don't hate, you're just trying to slam WotC.
Your current books, only that will be made obsolete in a year or two.
Or right after you bought them, like the people all those suckers that bought Pathfinder 2 books just to have the remaster announcement happen literally like a month after they bought them.
Second is, yes, you want to make clear to everybody in this playtest process that no system is safe, that you're going to be addressing a lot of the long-standing complaints that have come from...
No system is safe? What are you talking about?
From your players and especially DMs about 5e, and that are rooted in some of the core mechanics, and that means breaking some backwards compatibility. And
there's no breaking of any backwards compatibility. This guy's ridiculous.
There's this much vaunted supposed compatibility between 3rd edition D&D and 3.5, which is not really true.
That is such a fucking... This is crazy. So this is all I wanted to wait to. 2 minutes and 14 seconds. The much vaunted compatibility between 3.0 and 3.5. Folks, this is... absolutely, not only has the Rules Lawyer said something that is unique amongst YouTube TTRPG aficionados and D&D aficionados, he has said something that's unique amongst D&D aficionados worldwide. I have never in my life heard anyone say that. You know why? It's simply not true. That is absolutely shows you either he is willing to talk about things that he has not properly researched, not properly done, or he's willing to just, he is so committed to his point of view that he's willing to be disingenuous. You know, here's the thing. So this guy calls himself the rules lawyer, right? So he just said that 3.0 and 3.5 are essentially not really compatible. That's a ridiculous statement. That's just a ridiculous statement. And if you want to prove it, just do a Google search or a YouTube search for, is 3.0 and 3.5 compatible? Folks, dirty little secret time. The same core abilities generated essentially via the same methodology, interacting with essentially, you know, the same kind of core mechanics, especially after 3.0. For the most part, unless we're dealing with things like, you know, basic D&D and where we get into like racist class or things like with, you know, THACO or, you know, attack matrices with really early editions or stuff. But for the most part, at its core, all of these editions of Dungeons and Dragons are compatible. All these additions are, right, is the addition of the extra mechanics on top of the essential same core elements. And when you get to 3.0 and 3.5, to suggest that the difference between those two things makes them incompatible is just goes to show you how willing this man is to go to make, I guess, a ridiculous point. And I'm running out of time, and I've run out of time. I got to end the video. But here's the thing. What's the agenda? Why are you covering this, Rules Lawyer? If you don't play Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, if it's not your intention to play 1 D&D, then why cover it? And if you're covering it as a news story, then just simply cover it. This is the playtest, this is whatever. This editorialization that you're doing, I hope you know and understand. If you think that people are receiving your editorial as just pure analysis, I don't think you're correct at this point. I think people kind of know what's up with you. I think you're preaching to your choir, and I really don't know what the point of that is, other than to say, and I would say to your choir, I would say to Pathfinder, to people who are Rules Lawyer fans, why are you watching an adult act like a child? Think about it. This is an adult who it's not enough for him to say, my personal preference as a role player is to say, I've played 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, I've played 3.5 in the form of Pathfinder, or I've played 3.0 under its original name, or I've played 1st edition, or I played this, or I played this, or I played with One Ring, or I played this and the other thing. And you know what, folks? I told you, I found my sweet spot. I found my game of choice. It's this. It's Pathfinder 2. Well, bully for you, you know? It seems a great thing to do is to cover Pathfinder 2 events in the community, and, you know, and talk about latest supplements for Pathfinder 2 or whatever. Not that you can't talk about other stuff, but folks, isn't obvious that what these people are doing is they're covering this stuff because, well, if they talk about that other stuff, no one's going to tune in. And if no one's tuning in, folks, if you're into underground shit, you're into underground shit. I spent a lot of my life into underground stuff. Goth, into rave, into underground noise music and stuff. These kind of crucial points where you realize, you know, you could be at the maximum of your game. You could be like kicking it on all cylinders. And the way that that is expressed in the real world, the way that you know that you are, you know, that you have made it, is that you spent last night in, you know, a white, windowless van with 7 other guys who haven't showered in 3 days. And now you're playing, a concert of harsh noise music to an audience of 12. And this is a successful night because, you know what I mean? There's like one girl here and and some of the people aren't the guys from the van last night. You know what I mean? There's actually other people at the show. You know what I mean? I sold the tape. You do that a couple of times. Someone interviews you for their online zine, but then, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So it's like, but life is long. And do you want to live your life dedicated to hate? Waiting for the Pinkerton thing wasn't a big deal. And you're going to, you know what I mean? It's going to start looking sad. You know what I mean? Like, your girlfriend, treats you shitty. Like, so you show up to the party. Oh, man, what the fuck happened to me, man? I walked in and she was cheating on me, man. Fuck, man. Fuck that bitch. What? She was cheating. How long were you guys dating? We were dating like 6 months, man. Oh, man. Oh, shit. But then it's like 6 months later and you're like, oh, man, fuck, I can't get over her, man. I can't believe she cheated on me. And it's like, yo, man, I know, man, but it's been 6 months. You were dating 6 months. So, it's time to hasta la vista. Bad memories. Fuck her. Yeah, fuck that shit. Moving on. That OGL shit, right? You lost me. Now we're playing Pathfinder. We're not worried about that stuff anymore, right? Move on. Right? It's like 9 months later, and it's like, yo, man, hey, what's going on, bro? We got to talk. So, yeah, so Lisa called me, and you got to stop driving by her house, man. It's what's up. She's going to call the cops. Her dad's going to shoot you or something, man. What the fuck's up, man? What's going on? This is crazy. Yeah. So even more so, she cheated on you, so let's move the fuck on. What the fuck we doing here, bro? Move on. Because no amount of WotC hate is going to overcome the fact that, like, no one is playing Pathfinder 2, or when you talk about Pathfinder 2, no one wants to give a shit. Because why would you listen to people talk about TTRPGs? It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. I got to go. I got to fly. I'm way late. Here we go. From 2003, the Egyptian Tarot. Big money, big money, big money, big money, big money. No whammies and no whammies. Knave of Pentacles. Okay. This is like Page of Earth. This is like Earth of Earth. So this is like brass tacks. This is coming down. And this is recording the information. This is bearing witness, I think. But I think there's also, of it being Earth of Earth, I think there's a recognition that we can have of an equality of forces and things meeting each other. There's certainly a recognition that I can make that things that I am saying about the rules lawyer could be said about me. Even this activity I'm doing, I could be talking about something else. If rules lawyer is foolish to talk about problems that he has with 5e, what is the foolishness of me talking about the problems that I have with him, talking about the problems that he has with 5e? But I gotta go. But I run through and I say hello to all that have joined me in the live chat. We say hello to the elephant in the room. We say hello to Jonaside. We say hello to Mario Heat. We say hello to Tim Frey. We say hello to David Bucky. We say hello to Troy Williams. We say hello to Jay Roach. And I have to go. I love you. I love you. I love you. If nobody told you they loved you today, somebody just did. That somebody's CW Chanter. And I will see you shortly. Bye-bye for now.